Guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna be making this jacket that I had saved on Pinterest like literally weeks ago. I'm like, I really want to make it. So I have this black fabric that I have left over from another project. It's honestly not the best quality, so this is just gonna be like the mock-up version because yeah, this fabric peels a lot when you like wash it, and I don't really like it, but this is gonna be mock-up. And I have a lot of this black rib knit, so I already have the materials to make it. I also bought yesterday this fur trim for like the hood part of it. Low-key is also bad quality. It don't matter. This is just a mock-up, so we're just gonna see like how we're gonna construct it and everything. And it's literally shedding everywhere already, so actually I might not even put that on. But I also bought this for the hood, and then I bought these two zippers for the pockets. I'm not gonna do the pocket into the same placement as in the picture. I'm gonna do them like on the rib knit section because I don't really like them all the way up here. Like I feel like I'm not really gonna get much use out of them if they're all the way up there. So yeah, I bought two zippers for that. And yeah, let's get straight into it. So I'm gonna start by using this hoodie that I already have as a starting point for this jacket. I'm going to see like what ways I want my jacket that I'm making to fit differently than this hoodie. For example, the sleeves on my hoodie that I'm wearing is a little bit wider than the sleeves that I want for my jacket, so I'm going to take into account how much I'm going to take off there. I'm also measuring how long or wide I want that top section to be, and then how wide I want the rib knit section to be on the body of the jacket and also on the sleeves. Here's a closer look at the materials I'm going to be using. So this black kind of felt like fabric. I don't really know fabric types, but it's kind of felt like, and it peels really easily for the body of the jacket. And then I have this black rib knit, just standard regular stretchy rib knit. I'm also going to be using pattern paper to draft this pattern from scratch. So here I am just laying out the pattern paper and tracing out each part of my hoodie, the front, the back on fold, the hood, and the sleeves, and then making the alterations that I noted earlier when I was trying on the jacket, like making the sleeve less wide at the armpit, and then also where I'm going to divide the top and bottom half of the bodice for the rib knit part and for the rib knit part of the sleeves. So after I finished tracing everything out, I added a seam allowance and cut everything out. So these are all my pattern pieces. We have one for the front, for the back, the hood, the sleeves, the lower sleeve cuff part, the pockets, and then also for the lower rib knit section of the bodice. It's so wide because it's going to be folded in half, and you can see where I marked the fold line. And I also marked where I'm going to be inserting the zippers. I marked in evenly from both edges and marked how I'm going to do the zippers, and I'm going to show you in detail how I put those zippers in. Now I'm going to get started with cutting everything out now that I have my pattern pieces. So I'm just going to lay out my fabric on the floor and pin it down and cut everything out. This was probably the longest part of the process. I feel like it's the longest part of the process with any project. Like the sewing part is so quick, but cutting everything out, it takes the longest. But yeah, I'll give y'all a little montage of this. And it was even harder because my cats kept like coming and sitting on the fabric and bothering me. But yeah, we got it done. We figured it out. I also repurposed the fabric from the skirt to use for the pockets. Here's how everything looks cut out, and now we're finally ready to sew. Not gonna lie, I didn't get a lot of footage of me sewing like the basic parts of the jacket together because I feel like that's pretty standard for any like jacket or anything, just sewing the shoulder seams, side seams, seams of the sleeves, and then sewing the hood together and everything. But what I did get footage of was how I did the pockets, because this is my first time doing these kind of pockets with like a zipper. So the first thing I did was mark these little squares that you saw me mark on the pattern onto the fabric of the pocket and of the rib knit section. Then I put the right side of the rib knit section to the wrong side of the pocket and then match up those rectangles. My markings look janky and it was very hard to mark, but yeah, I matched up those rectangles and I'm going to sew that rectangle like shape. And once I did that, I'm going to cut open the middle of it and then cut in like a little V shape to get into the corner so we can turn it inside out clearly, or like cleanly, I mean. So here after I cut it, this is what it looks like, and I'm going to push that pocket like lining fabric into the inside. a little bit of a struggle, but bear with me. See, I'm watching Breaking Bad. I was watching Breaking Bad when I was making this, and at this point in like real time I have finished it. It's a really good show, would recommend. But anyways, yeah, so I'm going to push that fabric inside and then iron it down. Now I'm gonna grab my zipper and put it on the inside, like behind the opening that we just created, and I'm gonna baste it down. I chose to hand baste it down just to get more control when placing the zipper so they don't shift around. So I hand basted it, or I pinned it and hand basted it, and then I went in with my machine to give it that final stitch, and I just stitched a rectangle around the zippers. I definitely would recommend hand basting for this, because especially with this stretchy fabric, you want to make sure that everything stays in place. Now the final step is to sew the pocket piece right sides together to the pocket piece that we already attached to the rib knit section. So I'm just going to sew around that shape, and this is what the final pockets are looking like. The zipper works perfectly, and yeah, these turned out really good for my first time doing this. It was actually surprisingly easy. And you can see the way I did it, so when you fold the rib knit section, the pocket is not seen from the inside of the jacket. It's going to be completely hidden. This is how it looked when I pinned it together and kind of tried everything on. I ended up having to take in the lower section a lot, but the pockets look pretty good, and there's some like bunching going on the side seam, so I'm just trying to take it in so that's like not as much as an issue. And then I also added a gathering stitch to the bottom of the upper section in the front and on the back, just to gather it down to size. And this is how it turned out. I actually really love it. It's like a comfortable and warm hoodie to wear when I don't feel like wearing something baggy. And as you can see, I decided not to add the fur lining at the top just because I couldn't find a good quality one in the stores near me. So this is how it looks up close. The stitching on the zipper looked a little bit janky, but I don't feel like anyone's noticing that. And the pockets came out really, really good. Yeah, overall I'm very satisfied with how it came out. Thanks for watching.